Hello and welcome. In this video, I would like to show you my way of implementing Reddit-styled voting in a Ruby on Rails application. So you'll be able to upvote, you'll be able to downvote, and you'll be able to unvote for a post, and it will be all without reloading the page. So this is a demo of how it is going to look in our final application. Here I have a list of posts. A user can be logged in. He can upvote for a post, he can downvote for a post, he can unvote for a post. And you see, I'm voting for multiple posts and I don't need to reload the page. So they're going to do it all using the Gem ActsAsVotable that provides a wonderful backend for voting in a Ruby on Rails application. So let's implement this gem now. We are not going to start with a blank Ruby on Rails application. We're going to start with a tiny boilerplate application that I have already created. You can find it at cosigo/how to add ActsAsVotable, where I have just implemented two functions: device for users login, and I have scaffolded posts. So I'm going to start the server, and here is my basic application. You see, I have users that can log in, and I have a list of posts, but I don't have any voting functionality yet. So let's add it with the gem ActsAsVotable. Let's go to the documentation and see. First of all, we need to add the gem ActsAsVotable to our gem file. So I'm going to go to the gem file and add gem ActsAsVotable. Now I run bundle, and I've bundled. Okay, what's next? I need to run Rails generate ActsAsVotable migration, and let's see what it does. So here is this new migration, and you see it creates a totally new table named votes. And this table has votable and voter, and both are polymorphic. So votable is basically what you can vote on. You can vote on a post, you can vote on a comment, and voter is who votes. So for example, a user can vote. Now a vote flag is an upvote or a downvote, for example, and a vote weight is, for example, one user can have a stronger vote weight, like 5, and another user can have a vote weight of 1. So here is our votes table, and let's see what's next. Okay, next we're of course running Rails DB migrate to add the votes table to our application, and we can add something like ActsAsVotable to our posts. So by adding this ActsAsVotable line to our posts model, we tell our application that we can vote on a post. So we added this ActsAsVotable on a post, and now we can try to add some votes to the post. Let's see how it works. We will say post equals post.first. So here we have a post, and now let's vote on this post. We can say post liked by user.first, for example. We will say post.liked by user.first. Okay, and now we can count the post votes size. So let's say post.votes for dot size, and we see the post has 1 vote for. Now let's upvote this post from user.second. If there is a second user. No, there isn't a second user. So that's why we can't, of course, vote on this post. But basically, we managed to upvote the post by the current user, and the post has 1 vote. Let's say post.unvote or downvote by user.first. Okay, it worked. Now let's count the votes for.size. You see, the size is 1. Okay, so let's exit and actually implement a web UI for upvoting and downvoting on our posts, not only in our console. I'm going to start the Rails server and have a look. So now we have 2 posts, and we want to have this upvote button added to our posts. So how are we going to do it? Actually, I've created a small blog post that you can also see, where I described all the steps to adding just the AJAX votable functionality. And we're going to implement it step by step and see how it goes. So first of all, we're going to go to our posts controller, and we're going to add a new action called, let's say, upvote, def upvote. First, we're just going to make it so that users can upvote on a post. And in this upvote, we're going to need the current post. So we're going to have post equals post find by params ID. And we're going to say add post dot upvote by current user. Okay. And we are going to redirect to a JS file. We are going to render a JS file. So we will say something like render vote.js.erb. Render vote.js.erb. And what is this vote.js.erb file going to do? Let's first create this file. So I'm going to post new file vote.js.erb. And here we're going to have a JavaScript command to render a partial with the vote button. So if we didn't vote for the post, it is going to be like vote for the post. And if we voted for the post, it is going to be like unvote for the post. So if we go to vote.js.erb, they're going to have such a line, such a JavaScript line. It's not jQuery, it's pure vanilla JS. And we're going to get the div with the ID upvote and the current post's ID. And we're going to render a partial named upvote link. So let's also create this partial named upvote link. Upvote link.html.erb. And here we're going to have actually the link to upvote on the post. And it is all going to be wrapped into a content tag in which we're going to set this ID of the post. So let's say equals content tag, it is going to be div, and it is going to have the ID of upvote post ID. Something like this. Actually, you can also see it in the blog post. So here we have this upvote link, content tag div. The ID is upvote post ID. And inside of this, we're going to have the block. So do, and then we're going to have an and, of course. Now I'm going to change the spaces to 2 instead of 4. And inside we're going to have a link to upvote on the post. So we'll have equals link to upvote post path. And it is going to be at post. And it is going to be method post or method patch and remote true. And it is also going to have a block. So do, one more and statement. And here we'll have something like if current user dot voted up on at post, then we're going to have an unvote button. And if the user didn't vote up on the post, they're going to have the vote button. So else vote. Something like this. But now we'll also need to say that the current user, so the user model, can vote on the posts. So we're going back to the gem documentation. And here, if we go deeper, we need to find something like acts as voter. Now, acts as voter. So user can vote on posts or on anything else. We're going to add acts as voter to our users model. Now, this is really important. Okay, we're adding acts as voter to our users model. And this way, we're going to be able to address if current user voted up on or voted down on a post. Okay, basically looks fine. Let's see if this works. So we have this content tag div. Now we'll need to render it somewhere. We're going to render it in our index page. So here we're going to have a separate column, let's say, for voting. And we're going to have a td. And inside we will render. And we're going to render posts / upvote link. Okay, and we're going to say that at post equals post, something like this. So we're going to have a post upvote link that goes to this partial, and in this partial we're going to have a link to upvote post path, method post remote true, and now we need to set this upvote post path in our roots. So we're going to go to our config. Here is config, and we're going to go to roots, and in roots we will say resources posts do, member do, and we're going to say something like patch upvote to posts slash upvote. So this should give us something like upvote post path. Now let's go to our roots and see if it works. I'll go to roots and I will see upvote post path. So we have upvote post path. Correct. Okay, let's go to our posts and see if it works. I'm going to posts. Okay, encountered a syntax error in the template. Let's see. Okay, most likely it should be just remote true, and the method actually should be not post but patch, as we said in our rules. So it will be patch, and let's see if it works. I refresh. Okay, we still have this error. Okay, it looks like I missed an end statement here, and I forgot to close the braces here. Yeah. Okay, so now I have this view. I can unvote on a post, or at least I have the button. I press the button and nothing seems to happen. Okay, let's try to create a third post and see. I go back. I have this vote button. I press vote, and you see I pressed vote and it was automatically changed to the unvote. But when I press unvote, nothing happens. Why nothing happens? Because in our logic we just say post upvote by current user. So let's update it so that we can unvote and vote on posts. Let's say if post upvoted by current user, let's say if post upvoted by current user, we will have at post dot unvote by current user. Else we will have post dot upvote by current user and end statement. So this way, if the user has voted up on a post, he will have the unvote button, and if the user hasn't voted up on the post, he will have the upvote button. Okay, let's see. I press unvote, and nothing seems to happen. Okay, maybe there's a problem with this logic. I have unvote and upvote by current user. Okay, actually, there might be a problem with this logic. Post upvoted by current user. We will replace it with if current user voted up on post. We'll have post unvote by current user. Else we're going to have post upvote by current user. So in one case we are adding a vote. In the other case we are removing the vote of this user. So I have this vote and unvote button. And here also I can vote and unvote. So you see I refresh the page and the votes stay for this current user. So the application knows whether the user has voted or whether the user has not voted on a specific post. And I can do it with all the posts, and it changes with the AJAX, it changes the button. And it stays so after I refresh the page. So this was the first phase of implementing this functionality. Now, what have we done? First of all, we have added ActsAsVotable to our gem file, added the votes table migration, added ActsAsVotable to posts, and added the ActsAsVoter to our users model. Next, we went to our post controller and added this upvote method, where we find the current post, and if the user has upvoted on the post, we remove the vote, and if the user has not voted on the post, we add a vote. And we render vote.js.erb. In vote.js.erb, we find the div of the post upvote link and replace it with itself, but with the updated logic. So we replace the unvote with the vote button and vice versa. And we, of course, add this path to upvote post path in our routes to connect our view with our controller. So this was the first step. Now we also want to show the votes size. So how many upvotes, how many downvotes each post has. And we're going back to our ActsAsVotable gem. And here there should be something like caching. So we are going to count how many votes each post has. We're not going to have to go to the votes table and count all of them for this. So it will really improve the performance and add these additional fields to our posts table. So let's run a migration. Let's actually save our changes, git status, git add all, git commit main, basic AJAX voting for posts. Yeah, now we're going to run a migration, Rails generate migration, add cached votes to posts. Okay, and now inside this migration, we're going to add this content. Let's go to the migration. Now it is 6.1 migration. Okay, I'll just replace it like this. And here we're going to have these fields that we are adding to our posts table. So we're going to calculate all the votes for the posts in the posts table with something like context caching. Okay, now we're going to run Rails DB migrate. And this way we're going to have all the upvotes and downvotes and the average votes for the posts in our database. And we can also display something like cached votes total or cached votes score for our posts. Let's display the cached votes score for our posts. Let's say we'll have an additional line here, td, and here equals post.cached weighted score. Okay, and let's display the score of each of our posts. So I refresh, and here we see this cached score for this post. Now let's say I will vote on this post, and you see the cached score didn't change, but if I refresh the page, it is 1. I will now unvote on all the posts. I can vote on something. You see the cached score doesn't change by itself. And we're going to add some AJAX to this. So we are going to change the cached vote score when we upvote or downvote on a post. And similarly to what we've done before, we're going to create a partial that will be something like votes score.html.erb. And in vote score, we will have something like equals post.cached votes score. Okay, and they're also going to render this partial in the same vote.js.erb. So we will say votes score for this post ID and render votes score. Okay, and we will also wrap this into a content tag. The same we did with the upvote link. We have this content tag, and we will wrap the post cached vote score into this content tag. So end statement, and it is going to be not upvote post ID, but it is going to be, how did we name it? Let's see. It's going to be votes score. Okay, and we need to also render it in our index page if we didn't do it yet. Yes, so instead of showing the post cached vote score, we're going to render posts votes score. Okay, And let's see if it works. So I press unvote, and you see it changed. I press unvote, it changed. I press vote, it changed. So looks really nice. Now we can upvote or unvote on a post, and both the link will change its text and the size of the votes will change. So looks really nice, and we did it in a really simple way. Now we can also, let's say, rate the posts by the most upvoted first, the least upvoted in the end. And for this, we're going to just order the posts by cached votes score descending. So we will go to our post controller, and here we will say post.order cached votes score descending. So the most upvoted posts are going to be first, and the least upvoted posts will be last. So what have we done now? We have added a migration of cached votes score to our posts, and now we have a lot of additional fields for calculating everything connected with the upvotes and downvotes, average vote, and so on. And we can change the cached score with AJAX when we upvote or unvote on a post. So that's it. Let's save our changes. Git status, git add all, git commit main, add cached votes to posts, and AJAX for changing votes count. Okay, and now similarly we can add a link to downvote on a post. So we'll just go back to our server. I will actually close all these windows so that they do not disturb us. And now we're going to add a link to downvote on a post. So now we have a link to upvote, and we'll also add a link to downvote. Let's go to our index page. And here we have this voting. We'll have upvote, and we'll have downvote. And we have this link to post upvote link. We will also have a link to post downvote link. Okay. And you see, we need to create this partial called downvote link. So we'll create a partial named downvote link.html.erb. And now it is empty. So we're just going to copy the logic from the upvote link into the downvote link and change upvote to downvote here, then here, downvote post path. If current user voted down on post, we will have unvote, else we will have downvote. Okay, now we will go to our roots. Here we'll have patch upvote, we'll have patch downvote, and leading to posts downvote. So this creates this downvote post path. Now we've added this downvote link, and we are also going to add it in our votes.js so it can be updated with AJAX. So I will say downvote post ID and render downvote link. Okay, and now we need to also go to our controller, post controller, and here we're going to add an action to downvote. So we will have downvote, and here we'll have if current user voted down on post, we will have unvote, else we will have downvote. Okay, let's see if this works. I'm refreshing, and we have this upvote button and unvote button and downvote. Here, for example, let's press downvote. It is -1, and you see we have this vote and unvote button. I press vote. So it basically all works. I can downvote posts, I can unvote posts, I can upvote posts. And this is the whole functionality. Now, of course, you can make it look better by adding font awesome, adding the buttons that look like a thumbs up or thumbs down or hearts, whatever you like. But here's the whole functionality. We've added a way to upvote a post, to downvote a post, and to remove a vote from the post. And it is all updated in a beautiful live mode in our application. And we don't have to refresh our page for it. So that's basically it. Now I will just save our changes, and you'll be able to see everything in the GitHub repository right here. Thanks for being with me, like the video, and have a nice day.